My name is Ian Walsh, and this is the Masters of the Market series. And today, as I've been doing, I think a pretty good job of bringing everybody some really, really good content of the players in the marketplace in the Philadelphia region. And it's hard to pin you guys down because you're busy, right? But I have been able to bring some really, really good people, and today is a really, really good one for everybody to listen to. And his name is Jeremy Bowers. I'm sure a lot of you know him. I'm sure if you're in real estate in the city, you're going to know who he is. But for those that this is your first time seeing Jeremy, Jeremy is his agency at Caldwell Bankers. They were top 10 in growth this year. He was you were manager of the year, as well as you've been in the game since 2003. And I know just from the reputations on the streets that you have an amazing ability to build teams and put people around you that can perform. So you have a winning atmosphere at your office, which is clear. And, I guess like I had mentioned in the earlier videos of the week, a lot of people don't know about you, that you also flip, you're an investor yourself. So today I'd like people to kind of get to know a little bit more about you as an investor and as being inside the retail market. So Jeremy, thanks for coming on today, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. So let's start here. I usually like to start with getting a pulse of, you've been doing this since 2003. So talk to me about the market then and then till 2008, right? Because that cycle just completely peaked and went and took a turn. And then from 2008 till now, and what you've seen and your experience in it. I'd like to get your perspective on that.
So 03, I got in the game part-time, bought 3 houses in 3 months, started off in Manayunk, did very well on those 3 properties. I don't know, flipped them, probably average commission anywhere between 75 to 125 grand, did good on those.
Okay.
And then bought a couple more, and then started working on building my brokerage business. Took a 6-year run at that. Didn't buy as much real estate because I was so focused on running that business. 05, 06, I lost a decent amount of money on a flip a property in the beach. Got hit by Hurricane Sandy, 7 foot of water, and got out of that game down at the beach. And then my wife quit her job in 2015, and she was making great money and put me back at buying real estate again. I'm a manager of an office of a team. There's about 100 of us doing 1,300 units. And out of that, when my wife quit her job, I had to get another income source. So I started buying real estate again. And last year, I believe I bought 10 properties. And I'm trying to flip 6, keep 4, and all different prices is what I was doing. But over the years, it helped me learn from the down market, up market, and I think we're gonna have another turn next year or the following year. I'm thinking next year. Some of the guys are debating with me. They think it's going to be 19. Philly's typically 1 or 2 years behind, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective, and it's really important for what I do from lending and so forth. Is I deal with a lot of guys in different capacities, and the conversations I've had in these videos, there's a lot of I keep a pulse just like a regular listener to the people I'm discussing this with, because you guys are market makers, market movers. You see everything that's happening from different perspectives, and everybody is in that same boat, and that's why I'm bringing that up. Everybody's in that, you hear as early as 12 months, as long as 24. But the one thing I think I always think of is like, hey, nobody really knows where the top is, but what we do know is that we're closer to a top than a bottom, and I don't think there's any debating that. So what are you guys doing in your business, or what are you doing to adjust to what you see coming? You can't stop making money just because the market turns. You just got to make money differently. So what are you doing personally or as your agency and so forth?
Yeah. So Kevin Gillen, I think, produces the best reports in Philadelphia. If you've never checked out Kevin Gillen, he works at Drexel. Just Google him. He puts out these quarterly reports, and one of the things I focus on is appreciation and units. And what I saw was 06 to 08, there was a 2-year climb. 06, we've already passed 06 numbers. So in 16, that was the same thing as 06. It was a 2-year hike. So that's what I'm saying, 18 or for next year. So what I'm doing is keeping an eye on that. That's number 1. Number 2 is I buy typically with a 28 to 34% cover. So if the market adjusts 10 to 15% in a year next year, call it worse, 20, 25, I have room in there to adjust and sell real estate. The only time I ever lost in real estate is at the beach, and I got hit by Hurricane Sandy, but I paid what the property was worth then. And what I needed was future appreciation. I never, ever, ever, ever buy on future appreciation. So if I buy a property today, to make up a number, 100 grand, it needs 80 grand. It's got to be worth at least 250, 240 for me to buy that property. There's plenty of guys and girls out there who will buy that property for 100, put 80 into it, and by the time they're done, they're expecting it to appreciate 20, 30,000. I never do. I assume no appreciation whatsoever. Since I've taken that into effect, I haven't lost any money. And that one deal was worth a lot to me that I lost from because I learned how to adjust. And what else I learned to adjust is only buy in markets you really know. So I'll give you an example. Someone hits me up with a deal in the Northeast. I just don't know the Northeast. I just don't buy it. I only focus on the sectors that I know very, very well and just try to dominate those in my level as much as I can and just stick to those. So I have my markets I know well. The agent's got to really know the market, and in that way I'll purchase it. Otherwise, I just let it go and someone else can buy it. My idea is kind of like Warren Buffett, you know. If you get thrown 100 deals, if I take one, it's great, turn down 99. I'm more concerned right now, you asked about the marketplace, I'm more concerned for the people paying top dollar soon. It's going to keep on appreciating. When it stops, they're going to have too much money in the street. So my game right now is out raising capital. And besides managing the office, I want to have money set aside to invest when the market turns. I truly believe the true wealth is going to be built over the next 8 to 10 years when the market turns. When the market's hot, you can make great money. I believe you can make more money in a down market.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I mean, everything you just said are just, you know, the one that I always say from where I stand too, for what I do for a living is, you know, I never underwrite on appreciation because you're dead. I mean, you're dead when that market dips. And to me, when you buy or underwrite on appreciation, what you're really doing is guessing. You're buying on a guess. Whereas if you're not, and if your guess, hope is not a strategy, right? So if you're buying on what today's value is, which is what the market is telling you right now, that's all the information you have. It's not emotionally what you think you're going to get. And that, I mean, you saw it, you lived through it, you saw it in 2008. Yep. People got killed on that because the market just looked like it had no end in sight, right? But it can't go up forever. It's not possible. So what I've also noticed is a lot of, a lot of my really experienced flippers and guys that we deal with, just like you, they're in areas that's their area. Like they'll literally, like you said, it could be a great deal in the Northeast, but that's not your focus. You're not trying to jump on everything that may or may not be a deal. You're saying, this is my market, I'm the biggest fish in it, so I'm going to stay here, and I know it better than anybody. And all the big flippers that I deal with have their own pockets, and you literally could call them up, and they know their area so well, and you can start describing a house. Hey, I got a deal over here, and they'll tell you the house next to it. They'll tell you probably the color of it. They've been looking at that house for 6 months. They've been trying to get it. I mean, this is how well, you know, you have to know your market, and you can't be a cowboy and try to buy on that appreciation. So that's really interesting that you look at it that way. The experienced guys that'll pay off for sure. You know, when the market does turn, because you don't stop making money, and you buy actually. You know, I noticed at least back in 2008. I'm sure you saw it too. You probably have a lot of guys. You know, a lot of the same people I know. They bought everything after the crash. They just came out with every wad of cash they had under their pillow, and were just grabbing everything they can. Now you look back and you say, oh, Point Breeze, Fishtown, these guys 8 years ago that bought these things, you're saying, oh my gosh, you're worth more money than God. And it's because they did that. They're doing what you're setting up to do. And the experienced guys are doing that. All of us are waiting on that moment as well. So, but I want to get into something else for people that are listening or getting into this. Can you talk about, so you build a great team and you guys start prospecting. Let's say I came to you, and it's a little offbeat from the investment perspective, but let's just say I'm an agent. I come to you, I say, hey, I've heard really good things about Jeremy's team. What's like, you said there's a 30-day boot camp. Can you elaborate on that on camera? Is that okay?
Yeah, 100 hours. So we invest 100 hours in real estate training to them 3 days a week. I just came from our boot camp today, and I was teaching about viral marketing, basically how to leverage himself on Facebook and YouTube. And some of the managers do classes, and we have a head trainer that does the training on it. And it's a differentiator, getting them up and running and getting experienced people retrained again and trained the correct way. Many real estate agents I've found want more education. It's just they either A, don't block the time, or B, the company didn't provide it. And you see more and more people seeking education and changing. They'll actually seek more education when this market turns, because the market's going to turn for obviously a worse, and that's when you seek even more education. So I'm building out platforms now for when that turns, so then people can actually even have more than what they have right now. So they get boot camp, then they graduate boot camp. We got training on Tuesdays and Thursdays that we work with them one-on-one, and then in group settings, and the agents are constantly sharing. You're only as good as your atmosphere. I don't care what name's behind you. It doesn't matter what franchise. I'm not here to sell different companies today, but what I'm here is sharing experiences. And what I found is the atmosphere and the people make up every single company I know. And I was watching Grant Cardone's event over the weekend. If no one's ever watched it, it was a 3-day event in Miami last weekend. You can buy it live, or you can buy the recorded version. It's $469. It's well worth it. And one of the guys talked about, he created a vitamin company, and he's multi-millionaire now. He barely made any money for 7 years. He said, if you make the customer experience so good, and no matter what it is, the people will come back and call them raving fans. In our business, if we can help a person grow their business dramatically in real estate investing and also build a brokerage business, they will actually refer other people. So, we're trying to teach people how to build a brokerage business, how to grow a business, and then the third thing we're trying to do is help them create wealth. Most wealth is created via horizontal income, which is rental properties. Flipping's awesome, but long-term wealth, if you look at your successful people in the city, the big developers or the guys that have a lot of money or girls that no one knows about, it's horizontal income. Very few people that I meet that are really wealthy did not build their wealth through real estate, horizontal income, which is rentals. So we teach them each one of those verticals, and my goal is to build them long-term wealth so they're a raving fan.
That's interesting. That's I'm glad I asked that question. I'm glad I got such a good answer from it. So there's a lot of information in this video I think people are going to enjoy. Let me ask this, Jeremy. If I wanted to contact you, either A, I'm an agent getting into business, or B, hey, Jeremy's buying deals in such and such area, how do I get in touch with you after watching all this information?
So just type in Jeremy Bowers on Facebook or YouTube. You'll see my information on there. And to add to that, what I'd like you to take away from that part by contacting me is leverage Facebook Live, leverage YouTube, leverage your free marketing. You guys, there's so much money out there to invest in real estate. There's so many deals. But if you're not seen and you're an undercover agent, no one's going to know. I don't personally ask for a lot of money from people. I barely ever ask for money from a person. But they see my Facebook Live. They see my Facebook stuff. So I originally just went on vacation recently, and I had 2 friends come to me and wanted to give me money for real estate investing. I never asked them for it, and it all came down to my videos. So if you don't have any flips right now, go video other people's flips and ask for their permission to videotape new construction opportunities to send out to your center of influence to try to sell that project for your agent in your office. Everybody's got some superstars in your office. You should be out physically at those sites, leveraging those sites to get that word out to your center of influence. It'll help your branding, but it'll also help generate leads, and it'll help generate sales for your top agent in your office. So that is a number one way to sell. And then number 2 is to raise money from your people. Everybody knows someone that has money. The question is, are they afraid to ask them, or how do I approach them? The softest way to do that is Facebook. And you asked me a question, how to contact me. Just go on Facebook or go on YouTube, and you'll literally see how to contact me. The easiest way is Facebook. But you're going to see 100 videos on YouTube. You're going to see a boatload of videos on Facebook. And I love to see people who watch this video leverage those 2 sources. There's a class coming up on it on April 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's in Philadelphia. It's $199. I'm going to it. Bob Heilig, Heilig, is having this academy called Breakout Academy. The guy netted $1 million last year from Facebook training. He did a $27 training in one night, brought in $150,000. Why? People want to learn it. The challenge is most people on Facebook and YouTube are afraid to do stuff because they don't want to say the wrong thing or mess up. I just did a class today on it. Just do it. Just don't worry what people think. The more you're seen, the more people know. So Ian, I'll give you an example on you. I really didn't know that much about you, but your stuff's in front of me. And then I met you and we talked. And Penn State, we both went to Penn State. We both know similar people.
Sure.
But honestly, man, I would have never reached out to you if your information did not stay in front of me. You're the only person in Philadelphia that I know in the money business that's doing what you're doing. I mentioned you to one of my buddies over the weekend. I said, maybe you should do this deal, the one I was telling you about the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I said your name. And the guy lives in Bucks County. He says, yeah, my buddy told me we should use him. Wait, actually, hold on a second. The guy's name rings a bell. He looked in your email. You sent him an email.
Oh, no kidding.
So I kind of went on a rant, but you literally said, how do you contact me? Facebook is unbelievable vehicle that you can reach out to me. But whoever's watching this video, take a look at what Ian's doing. He's building a true business by staying in front of people and doing these types of vehicles. All of us can do the same thing. We just got to change our mindset, overcome our fear, and lastly, but most importantly, don't take yourself seriously. People buy from people because they're raw. They don't buy people because they're scripted. And if you look at the people you buy from over your life, it's always people you trust, and it's the people that will tell you the truth. And if you follow those 3 simple rules, you will make a boatload of money real estate investing and building a brokerage business.
I appreciate that, Jeremy. I didn't know that was our background until, I knew a little bit about our background together, but I didn't know the full swing of it. It was interesting. It comes down to this weekend. And obviously you see it, it, but the future of all marketing to some extent is going to be internet based. Or some sort of technology. That's the reality. Right now, you have mailers, you have some things, because a lot of the people you end up buying from an investment perspective might still be reading newspapers, but the reality of that is, unfortunately, they're not going to own homes in 20 years. So if you're not ahead of it now, you can't play catch up in 10 years and try to rebuild your business. Like, do it now. And you're totally right about, you don't take yourself too seriously. Just get out there and do it. I have no idea how many of my videos that probably I've made a million mistakes in, but it doesn't really matter. Nobody holds your feet to the fire. And it's, you just have to be confident in, I guess, what you do. And if you make a mistake or whatever it may be, you just, okay, made a mistake. You just keep moving with it. And so I really appreciate it. Everybody knows they can find you, Jeremy Bowers. You put out really good content. I like your stuff. It's more dynamic than mine. I got to get more dynamic like yours, your cool spots and stuff like that. So, but thank you for coming on. And as everybody knows, this is the Masters of the Market, and I'm Ian Walsh from Hard Money Bankers. And hopefully everybody gets a lot from this, because I know there's some really good stuff in there. Thanks, Jeremy.
Yep.